Hey there. After studying Bitcoin for 10 years, I've made a list of six videos that I think are the perfect starting point. And in this video, I'm going to share them with you. We'll start with the reason of existence for Bitcoin. We talk about what is money, and then we slowly go down the path on the deeper characteristics of Bitcoin and why it is such a profound technological discovery. I've shared this list with anyone from high net worth individuals to general plebs to get them on the path of learning Bitcoin. I hope you can use this video and share it with others, and share the videos as well. I'll put them in the description below. The pro tip here is watch them all in sequence. That's going to be around 4.5 hours. But yeah, if you want a shortcut, you still have to study. So 4.5 hours is pretty okay. Let's go to the first video. So this first video is called What's the Problem? Created by Joe Bryan. It was released just over 2 months ago. And yeah, to be honest, this is one of the best videos that I've seen in the past 10 years. In like 39 minutes, Joe goes through sharing a story where he really dives deep into the what is money question, what types of money can we have, and what is actually the problem today. Where do all the problems that we are seeing, where do those come from? And he goes really deep on that. I'll now play a clip that I think is one of the most interesting parts.
So the first question they need to answer is, what makes good money? And there are 7 things. So these guys have the ability to create whatever they want. So instead of just creating good money, they create the perfect money. And the perfect money is scarce, which means it has a fixed supply forever, and is instantly and costlessly verifiable by everybody. So if everybody can check it whenever they want at no cost, then you can verify for yourself that nobody's creating any extra. It needs to be portable, so you can effortlessly move and store it with negligible costs. It needs to be divisible, and the perfect money would be infinitely divisible. It needs to be durable. It can't rot or go off. It can't deteriorate. So the perfect money exists forever. It's fungible, which means every piece is forever the same as every other piece. It needs to be acceptable. So everyone, anywhere, can both send and receive. And the really important one is it needs to be censorship resistant. You hold it yourself. Nobody can take it away from you without your permission, and no one can stop you sending or receiving it. So this is great. They decide on perfect money.
So that's What's the Problem, made by Joe Bryan. Now let's move on to the second video. So this video is called How Money and Banking Work and Why They Are Broken Today. It's a 30-minute video made by Lynn Alden, the author of the book Broken Money. And this is basically a video version, a condensed video version of the book. And so in this video, Lynn explains how the current banking system works, how it increases the money supply, which reduces the value of your savings and wages, benefiting a few at the expense of the public. She discusses the history of money from barter to modern digital currencies, and she also explains how a decentralized currency like Bitcoin could address the systemic problems created by fiat money.
The failure rate for currencies around the world is very high. In the 1990s, Brazil, at the time the 5th most populous country in the world, experienced severe hyperinflation. Since the 1980s or later, hyperinflation has impacted other nations such as Argentina, Yugoslavia, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Poland, Kazakhstan, Peru, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Lebanon, and several others. Additionally, countries like Israel, Mexico, Vietnam, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Turkey grappled with triple-digit inflation during this period, which is on the brink of hyperinflation. Many other countries experienced recurring periods of double-digit inflation. Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million people, has witnessed an annualized price inflation rate of 13% over the past decade. Turkey and Argentina, both esteemed members of the G20 nations, with a combined population exceeding 130 million people, have struggled with runaway inflation for years.
I find this video super, super important because the origins and the causes of inflation are something that haven't really been talked about. And basically, price inflation starts with monetary inflation, right? The inflation of the money supply. And yeah, Lynn does a great job, not only in the book, but also in the video, to really show what the causes and effects of this inflation are. All right, let's move on to the next video. So number 3 is a presentation by Jack Mallers. It's called Intro to Bitcoin. And I saw this talk live, actually. When I saw Intro to Bitcoin, I thought, oh, yeah, sure. I've seen everything in the past 10 years. But to be honest, this presentation is perhaps the best presentation I've seen in the past 10 years when you talk about an intro to Bitcoin. So this is about 47 minutes long. I encourage you to watch it. Now I'm going to play my favorite clip.
So what Satoshi realized, and what I want you guys to understand, is that in a digital world, if you want money to be on the internet, you're talking about an informational realm, right? The internet is about information. Satoshi's describing that you can't put gold on the internet. So if Satoshi wanted to build a digital scarcity, which he clearly did, he would have to build a list, not a token. Can you imagine if Satoshi was like, introducing Bitcoin, I created this physical artifact and it was like his own physical coin, right? Of course not. He had to create a ledger, okay? And so to end this section of money was invented as a lubricant for the barter system, but we're way overdue for a lube and oil change.
All right, that was Jack Mallers with an intro to Bitcoin. Now, the next video is called Bitcoin, There Is No Second Best by Michael Saylor, which he presented at the Bitcoin for Corporations event at MicroStrategy, then called MicroStrategy, now called Strategy, held, I think it was last year. And yeah, in this presentation, he explains why Bitcoin is the top digital asset. He talks about its security, scarcity, and the decentralized nature. And he contrasts Bitcoin with other cryptocurrencies and traditional investments, showing its superior performance. This presentation also highlights Bitcoin's role as the primary solution for digital wealth preservation, the preservation that is not possible in the fiat money system, as you will have learned if you watched the other videos. All right, let's play my favorite clip.
And they're taking an extraordinary beating and a burden on their back, trying to fight against a digital wave. But life isn't fair, and certainly the global economy isn't fair. If you're the winner, you're the winner, and if you get on the wrong side of a trend, then you just get gradually crushed. So this is a sobering observation, but it's a reminder that if you're going to invest and if you're going to align yourself with an idea, it better be the best idea, because the second best idea, as you can see, is worth nothing.
Yeah, and so it's really important to understand that the rise and creation of Bitcoin in the digital world that we're living in increasingly is very logical, also very profound, and something that you have to pay attention to. There is no second best. And once you understand that, you gradually go further into your journey. All right, let's go to the fourth video, which is also called There Is No Second Best. This time, again, a presentation by Jack Mallers. This was held at BTC Prague in 2024. This is a 43-minute video. And yeah, I just call this There Is No Second Best part 2. And so in this video, Jack explains why Bitcoin is unique, and he focuses on the use of proof of work to connect the digital world with our physical reality. He contrasts Bitcoin with other cryptos that use proof of stake, and he highlights Bitcoin's superior security and fairness. And he also emphasizes that understanding proof of work is key to understanding why Bitcoin stands alone, and Bitcoin is the only thing that deserves your full attention.
Chapter 1, proof of work, a physical leap into the digital realm. To understand proof of work, we have to understand the digital age that we all live in today. The computer screen is a magic window. but it can only reflect back what we put into it. We should not mistake the reflection for reality itself. Virtual representations of reality are not reality itself. They are abstractions. This is a very important point. They help us understand the real world, but they themselves aren't physically real, right? Are you guys familiar with this idea that the map is not the territory, right? The map is a depiction of the territory. The map is the abstraction of the territory. But the map isn't actually the territory. Our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, perceptions of something is not the thing itself, right? We must not confuse the map with the territory. Digital tools can map our world and offer new perspectives, but they remain tools, not substitutes for the world that they map. A simple way to think about it is that the menu is not the meal.
I love that he mentions Alan B. Watts. Alan B. Watts is one of my biggest spiritual teachers. And actually, I think if Alan Watts was still alive, he would be the ultimate Bitcoiner. So maybe as an extra tip, watch some Alan Watts videos about money, and you will tie that in with, you know, learning about what money is, why it's broken, and why Bitcoin is a solution. And it's fascinating to realize that someone was very, very much ahead of their time. But it also makes a lot of sense, actually, because once you look into the question, what is money and why is it broken, the fundamentals haven't really changed between, you know, 40 years ago and now. So it's actually still the same observations, but luckily we have Bitcoin now. All right, let's move on to the next video. Now, this again is a Michael Saylor video. I mean, Jack Mallers and Michael Saylor are just really good presenters. And yeah, I think this presentation is also really good. It's called The Digital Gold Rush. And in this presentation, Saylor explores how inflation diminishes wealth and criticizes traditional assets for failing to protect purchasing power. He positions Bitcoin as a groundbreaking solution, likening it to digital gold and emphasizing its role in preserving value across time and space. Saylor argues that Bitcoin's decentralization and efficiency make it an essential tool for navigating the modern financial landscape. All right, here's my favorite clip.
This is digital capital. Capital economic energy, digital capital, digital economic energy. Well, what does digital capital mean to an investor? Okay, you got $1 billion or $100 million, you buy a $100 million building in Manhattan. That's capital invested in real estate. That is the conventional best idea of the 20th century for every rich family in the world. I can't tell you how many multi-billionaire wealthy families I've met. They all own real estate. They all own property. Bitcoin offers the benefit of holding that building, but without the liabilities of a conspicuous, immobile asset. So what do we do when we digitally transform the building? Well, first we strip away all the bad stuff. No tax, no traffic, no tenants, no torts, no trouble, no mayor, no weather, no corrosion, no regulation. Strip away all the bad stuff and then add the good stuff. It's invisible building, right? No one's going to hate you, resent you, and want to take your wealth from you because they walk past your big building every day. It's invisible, it's indestructible, it's immortal, it's teleportable, it's programmable on a computer, it's divisible, it's musical. I promised one musical reference. What do I mean? You can vibrate the building at 10 kilohertz. You can vibrate the building 10,000 times a minute, 10,000 times a second. I can move it 87,000 times on variable frequencies on a weekend. I can construct a symphony with the capital. Why don't you try to move a real building once a second? What about A440? Try to move a real building at 440 hertz. You can't do it. This is something that you can actually manipulate in a harmonious fashion on the frequency of the economic universe. And it's fungible. You own a $100 million building in New York City. It's not like a $100 million building in Tokyo. $100 million of Bitcoin is like $100 million of Bitcoin in Tokyo. Everybody understands what you're getting, and it's configurable. So digital capital is like all the benefits of holding something tangible with none of the detriments.
And so in this presentation, what I love, and when I think about these videos that I'm sharing with you, we go from what is the actual problem, the reason of existence for Bitcoin, why is it so special and so different? Now, Saylor in this presentation, he ties it into the world, like what is its place in the world and how can you compare it to things in the world that you already know and perhaps also have been using for a very long time. Because Bitcoin is a true paradigm shift. It's something that has never, ever existed before. Absolute digital scarcity is what is the discovery. And so I love how Saylor in this presentation, ties it together and talks about the place of Bitcoin in the world. He also adds some urgency. The presentation is called The Digital Gold Rush, meaning in 2033, around 2033, 2034, 99% of all Bitcoin have been mined, and the last 1% will be mined in the 107 years following that. So if you think Bitcoin is a solution to a problem that you can hopefully understand with the videos that I shared, then the urgency of getting as many Bitcoin as you can get becomes pretty clear, especially after watching this Saylor presentation. I hope these tips were valuable for you. I will link to all of the videos in the description below, but I've also put them on a website called startwithbitcoin.com. Eventually, this is something that I'm going to build out into a directory of resources, tools, etc., to learn about Bitcoin, to get started with Bitcoin. But while I'm finding time to actually build that website, I put up these videos. I still have to add the what's the problem video actually, but the videos are on here. You can forward startwithbitcoin.com to anyone who you want to help understand Bitcoin, so they can find the videos embedded here. And if the video sparked your interest, I even added 9 more videos that I think are just valuable to watch and get you further on the path of learning about Bitcoin. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, send it to your friends. Check out my podcast, Bitcoin for Millennials. And I also launched a new podcast called The Broadcast, of which the first episode is now live on my channel. I want to thank you for watching. I hope to make more videos like this to inform you about Bitcoin and get you onto the path of studying it. I truly think this is the most important technological discovery that you should study and adopt. So I won't stop making videos. And again, I hope you enjoyed this.